your cameos or your performances were really, really hilarious. So I'm just wondering about the challenge and coming into a film and maybe only doing a day or two and still having that kind of impact on the story that you did.
Well, I mean, mine was definitely a cameo. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm only in 2 or 3 scenes.
It's so memorable, though.
It's memorable. I always say, quality over quantity. The
caterers will remember you.
Quality over quantity, I always say. It's like Tupac, he dropped 400 albums. Biggie only dropped 3. And in my opinion, Biggie's better. So it's like, it's about that. But no, it's, I came into an environment where, I've worked with Jeff before, he had a cameo and people just nothing. So now it was my turn for a cameo. And we gelled and, when you get there, you just know the vibe. And Jemima Khan understood I understood my role there. I understood what I was coming in to do. Go in, do a couple of takes on the script, and then go on.
She gave you space.
Yeah, give you space, and then go and improvise, go and do some stuff, and go bounce off each other and all that. So yeah, it's fun, and also it's just a fun scene. When Jemima asked me what role do you want to play, and the matchmaker was actually supposed to be a woman before. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, it was written as a woman, and then I said, "I'll
with a large beard."
Yeah. With a large beard. So I came in, I said, I'll do the matchmaker. So yeah, it was that. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Great day.
Are you guys planning to take your family to see this? And if so, Asim, are you going to have to sort of explain to your parents what dogging means?
Well, I think my dad bloody knows, mate. That's how I was conceived. No, I'm joking. That's why my name is Waltham Forest. No, I'm joking. I mean, I think I do want to take my dad. I've been dealing with this yesterday because the emails came through. And my dad's been messaging me, when am I going to meet Jemima? Yeah. The thing is, my dad is like, he's basically the original Chibadi G. Like, a lot of it's based on him. And my dad, everywhere he goes up to people and he goes, do you know Chibadi G? Like, literally, you go in a calf. And I go, do you know Chibadi? He's my son! My son! This and that. And then everywhere I go, people are messaging me going, I just met your dad. I'm like, Dad, you need to chill out. And then he tries to sell them something dodgy. Yeah, exactly. No, but I'm a bit worried about if he does meet Jemima because he's like proper.
He didn't say the wrong thing.
He will definitely say the wrong thing, but not just that. I just think he might be a bit intense for her, so it'll be fine. I'll tell him what dogging is later. I'll show him. No, I'm joking.
It's just a nice Sunday afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, with a dog. Yeah.
Jeff, do you still take? I mean, because you've been sort of performing live and sort of being in stuff for so many years now. Do your family? Do you still take them to if you're performing live? Do they still come and see you and stuff? Does that kind of novelty ever wear off at all?
My brother, somebody's like a big fan of him because you're doing a joke, man. He's like one of those guys who he's like what I would have been if I hadn't been in this business. So I can always see he's like the what's that thing when you do an experiment? You have the one that you don't.
The fork and the
when you do an experiment, you have. Yeah, you do an experiment. You have like when we don't use it, you don't give the scientific thing, and that's
right.
Right, whatever. So he would have been like I would have been if I hadn't. So he's like the biggest fan because you told a joke, man, and he used a bad word. And then put downs. He loves to see when hecklers get dealt with. He loves that. You saw you called that guy fat, man. You told him to shut up. So anyway, yeah, they love. My brother particularly loves it. My sister's not so much.
And Asim, last time I interviewed you, we sort of because I was on for the behind the scenes at the Sandman, and you were discussing working with Sanjeev Bhaskar and how comedians like that and actors like that really paved the way for yourself to really make a career for yourself. And now you're sat next to Jeff. I mean, how important are the likes of Sanjeev and Jeff in helping people like you see this as a possibility?
Of course, I was saying earlier that we needed more. Growing up, I only saw a few brown faces. It was the shopkeeper on EastEnders, and then obviously, goodness gracious, me came. And Jeff's been doing his thing for a long time as well. And he's, like I said, I worked with him on People Just Nothing. We had a great improv scene that's very memorable. I think it's really important, and if anything, you have to pay the respects to the people who came before, because now, this makes me feel old, but now I get people coming up to me, young kids. And they say, oh, my dad told me, my dad loves your stuff. I'm like, shut up. Yeah. I'm not that old, you little prick. You know what I mean? But it's true, though. And I put all these people, Sanjeev and all these guys, but then I think, actually, it's been so long now, I'm becoming that guy for these young kids. Yeah. And that's what we just got to keep doing. We've got to keep inspiring. And now I'm waiting for the next batch to come, which they are. I had
a problem with my car. Like someone was changing the tyre, like a new tyre. Like, Uncle, I really like your stuff, Uncle. I'm like, shut up, man. You've got no DV. You completely lost your hair. No, but you are my uncle. I respect you. As he's changing the tyre. Uncle, you are uncle. Please, Uncle, I love. I said, can you cut it with the uncle, please?
And just very quickly, because I know I just asked you about people that sort of paved the way for you. you. But Jeff, I was going to ask you conversely about the kind of future of comedy in the kind of British Asian community. Are you quite excited by what's to come?
Very excited, because comedy is evolving. It's an evolving thing. It's never static. If you watch comedy from the 70s or 80s, it's not the same as now, even though it is funny. So comedy reflects the culture that we live in all the time. And comedy is a vehicle for talking about subjects. So yeah, I mean, I'm very, very excited. It's a great time to do comedy, stand-up comedy, live comedy, rom-com. It's a great time. And people are very open. And, you know, God knows with this hardship that are out there, this is what we need. You know, we need the relief. When I was growing up, you know, back in the day, I'd watch two Ronnies, Morecambe and Wise, and these were our relief. Watching things like Porridge. These were the only programs we were allowed to see in our house, was comedy. You know, so that's.
I think in terms of progression, British Asian comedy will progress when we just call it comedy.
Yeah.
That's what I think we need to get to, where it's not just, this is British Asian comedy. No, it's comedy.
Yeah.
You know, people just nothing. No one would look at people and go, "Oh, that's the Chabadi. That's the British Asian comic." It's like, no, he's just a comic. You know, it's like that's where we need to get to, basically, and we're not there yet.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, guys. Much appreciated.
Thank you
Cheers.
very
Take
much.
care.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.